Hey guys, what's up? My name's Adam and welcome back to Jamsville. So in today's video I want to talk about something I've been thinking about a lot recently, which is rhythm. So one thing that I've noticed about music is that a lot of songs have almost the same chord progressions and use the same scales and many times use the same notes for melodies as well. And when people play solos, we all basically use the same scales. So what is it fundamentally that makes songs and different musicians sound different from each other? Well, I think clearly the answer is in rhythm. If you look at all kinds of different songs that have the same chord progressions, you'll notice that the main thing that makes them different is the rhythm. And I think the main reason why is because rhythm is the thing that we can actually vary a lot more than the notes in a given piece of music. Most songs in a certain key use 7 notes, and there's only so many different ways you can combine those 7 notes. But if we look at even 1 or 2 measures of music, the amount of different combinations of rhythm that we can make in those 1 or 2 bars of music are vast. Not only can we come up with probably thousands of different combinations of rhythms in even 2 bars, never mind a whole 5-minute long song, but then we can also have variations on how we play those rhythms too. So in short, rhythm is super important, and I think actually way more important than the notes in music. So with that being said, I wanted to figure out a way to practice having better rhythms in my solos and also thinking about the notes less. I think a lot of us guitar players get way too caught up in thinking about what notes and scales we're trying to play when we should really be thinking about playing amazing rhythms. So the plan that I've come up with is something called soloing with rhythm cells. Basically, the idea is simple. We want to pick a short rhythm that we're going to play in our solo, and then we're going to plug in notes pretty much randomly from whatever scale it is that we're playing over. That way, we're focusing most of our energy on the rhythms rather than the notes. I've come up with an easy 4-step process to do this. So step number 1 is we're going to pick a short rhythm that we want to use. We're going to call this Rhythmic Cell A. This is the rhythm that I'm going to pick for Cell A. I'm going to play over a loop that I made for reference. So I'm going to play that rhythm over and over again just using 1 note. And I'm going to try to figure out all the different ways that I can vary it. Some different ways that I can vary it are with the dynamics. With accenting. By changing the articulation. And by doing embellishments like sliding into the note. So once you do that for a few minutes, you'll be really comfortable playing that rhythm. Once you get really comfortable with that rhythm, now we can start changing the notes and plugging different notes into the rhythm. Now this example I'm playing is going to be using the A minor pentatonic scale. You can use any scale that you want, but make sure that it's something that's already comfortable for you. I want to emphasize that even though we are changing the notes, you're still not going to be focusing on the notes that much. We're still completely focusing on the rhythms that we're playing and how we're playing them. I would say only about 10% of your brain should be thinking about the notes. This is why this is actually ironically a good exercise for learning scales, because it gets you to learn how to play through the scale without even thinking about it. We're thinking about something that's way more important than the scale, which is the time. So the process I like to go about adding the notes is add 1 extra note to the first one that I picked, and then try adding 2 extra notes, and then just let loose and use the whole entire scale. And make sure you use some notes that are outside of the scale as well. You'll see that when you're focusing on the rhythm, even the notes that are outside the scale sound good. So I'm going to go through that process right now. So actually, there may have been a couple of times in there that I skipped a little bit ahead to step number 3, which is once you're really comfortable with that rhythm, then you can start making your own little tiny variations off of that rhythm. This is where you really start to come up with some nice ideas that you can tell aren't exactly the same and repetitive and boring, but they relate a lot to the last things that you played. Some examples of varying the rhythm may be just playing the first part of it or playing the last part of it, playing the first part and then changing the last part, changing the first part and then leaving the last part the same, and of course just listening and using your ear and trying to play things that sound related to that original rhythm. So let me give you my attempt at this. Step 4 would be to repeat this entire process with another rhythm. We'll call this rhythm cell B. And then practice soloing using rhythm cell A and B and making your own variations on them. And then make rhythm cell C and D and E and F and G and H and I and J and K until you've had enough rhythm for one day. Alright everybody, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you learned something from it. Rhythm is definitely something I really want to emphasize on this Jamsville YouTube channel. Rhythm and listening to people when you're playing and being very interactive. Like I said, I think that a problem that a lot of musicians have is we're constantly thinking about notes and chords and theory and all this stuff. And we don't think about other things like rhythm as much as we should. And if we're all playing music that has some amazing rhythms in it, the world's gonna be a better place. Also guys, I'd really like to hear from you. What are some ways that you work on your rhythm skills? If you want more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe to the channel because there's going to be more coming out every week that you definitely don't want to miss. Alright everybody, until next time, listen, learn, and jam.